Good. All right, today we're going to go over the 4 required changes in the body that are needed to reverse insulin resistance or try or have an opportunity to reverse type 2 diabetes. I put that out there on my Facebook page. I did talk about it last time. If you remember what those were, go ahead and Kelly, watch the recording. Good. Hey, Catherine, Anita. If you remember what we went over, what are the 4 things that have to happen in order for the condition, the pathology of insulin resistance or all the way down to diabetes, because it's a spectrum, right? You have insulin resistance and it gets worse and worse and worse, affects other parts of your body, and then you develop, usually first thing that comes is metabolic syndrome, pre-diabetes. Associated with that can definitely be weight gain, obesity, or weight loss resistance, all coming hand in hand, all part of insulin resistance. And then eventually, if it keeps going, it gets to type 2 diabetes. And then heart disease, Alzheimer's, and it contributes in cancer as well. Pancreas, I see that, Jan. Let's see, you got liver fat gone, pancreas refunctioning, beta cells. All right, we're getting there. I put that on my Facebook page, and I got a lot of great answers. People were talking about a lot of things that they can do with their health, as far from everything from lose weight to clear the gut to get rid of heavy metals, and all of that is fantastic. But there are 4 things that are well documented and established as the cause of type 2 diabetes, the far end of insulin resistance, and they're also known that if you change them, you can technically document and reverse that condition. And that's what we're going to go over today. I got all sorts of answers. Mary says expand metabolic capacity at the muscle level. Good. You remember that one? Good. Well, the first one is what happens with insulin resistance is we have the problem. We've talked about it in other lives. I'm not going to go all the way through it. But as you start, insulin starts getting higher and higher and higher and higher and more constant from our diet, from our lifestyle. The main thing about lifestyle is the things we're not doing, not always that we are doing. So we're eating high insulin producing foods, carbohydrates, starches, fast foods, processed foods, sugar. And so insulin's all the way up, all the time. The signals get blasted, can only do so much. This starts to break down. So then, when that starts to happen, the insulin cells are cranking out. They start to get worn down. As they break down, if you take images of them, you lose the cell mass. The group of cells that produce, hold, and work to release the insulin start to look. We used to think they died out. Anyone heard that before? That the beta cells in the pancreas die, and that's why we go into type 2 diabetes. Eventually, need insulin. My connection's solid here. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. What we now know is that those cells, they don't die. That volume shrinks because those cells, they change. They can actually change into other cells, right? Because they are originally from a stem cell line, mesenchymal cells, that eventually they start to mature into a pancreatic cell, then into an endocrine cell, and then into a specific cell like a beta cell. And when they're under so much stress and they're overworked, they start to break down. They'll actually change to another cell like an alpha cell for glucagon, or a delta cell for somatostatin, for different hormones, right? And when that happens, on the imaging, it looks like they're not there anymore. Or you can't see the insulin, at least, because they're not beta cells anymore. And so that's what they used to call beta cell death. But that's really, really good news, because that's step number 1. We have to get those cells back, and they can change back into beta cells. When they start to form and they go from being a stem cell to a pancreas cell to an endocrine cell, that's called differentiation. They're deciding what they're going to be. Like a stem cell has to differentiate to be a muscle cell, eyeball cell, skin cell. They do that in their process, and then when they go backwards, when they change to something else, it's called de-differentiation. Okay, they go backwards. But they can return, and so we have to get that to happen. And the way that happens is, like you mentioned here, to a couple people, is that the ectopic fat on the liver or in the liver and the pancreas has to clear out. That has to happen. It's a physiological change that has to happen. And we're only talking grams. Excuse me. We're only talking grams. 1 gram out of the pancreas and maybe 6-7 grams out of the liver is all it takes to gut those wheels up. And that has to physically come out. Okay, so you were right. Liver fat's got to come out. Pancreas fat's got to come out. When that happens, the beta cells will start to differentiate again back to beta cells, and they'll start to get that cell mass back. And when you take imaging, you see a type 2 diabetic who looks like it's depleted or it's gone, or they used to say they had died. They start to come back. You actually can regenerate those beta cells and that insulin function. But you got to get that fat out first. Once that happens, you have to be in a repair state of the body, because those carriers that got overworked, that were stuck trying to stuff glucose into our energy storage areas, like the glycogen and like the body fat, that are overworked and broken, they have to be repaired. If they don't get repaired, even if your insulin comes back, the signaling will be off and you'll go right back into the same cycle. So they have to be repaired. Okay. Then the last part is not last in order, but the fourth element is the person has to become more glycogen flexible. They have to increase their glycogen flexibility, mainly in their muscles. Has to, because that becomes the extra space, the extra spending in our wallet, like we've said, to be able to get through the ups and downs. So, because it's the ups and downs that drive the fat into the liver, into the pancreas in the first place. So you need all 4 of those to happen. Liver fat's got to come out. That's the first thing. You'll see blood sugar go down immediately with that. Keep working at it, and pancreas fat's got to come out. When that happens, the beta cells will start to differentiate and grow back into beta cells and come back, and you'll get the beta cell mass and function back. Now, if you've been diabetic for a long time and been very severe, there could be scarring in there, and that could be very hard. And it might not be possible to get back to quote-unquote normal or regular function. But you can get a lot better and need a lot less medication, have a lot less complications. Okay, and as you're doing this, you have to increase your glycogen capacity. You have to be able to store more sugar in and out of your muscles, because that's your immediate reserve. And that flexibility makes a huge difference in your overall health and whether some of that fat gets stored again in your liver or your pancreas. All right, how are we doing out there? Guys, slow down. Mary Lou, yes, metabolic capacity of the muscle. Good. Jan said pancreas. Functioning beta cells. You're right on. Hey, Jill. What else? Liver fat gone. I see that one. Good. What else? Anything else? How you see how that works? It takes a long time to get there. What happens is we start making too much insulin because we're making it. It's not a problem with the pancreas. We're telling it to make more by the way we eat. By doing that, it gets overworked, tired, and it starts to go. The insulin production starts to go down. It can only work overtime for so long. Cells start to wither. We have to remove and when that happens, we have to remove the blockages, allow those cells to come back, and increase our capacity. You do those 4 things, and you can document yourself a reversal of type 2 diabetes. We talked about this, Jan, the other day. We talked about that. Just lowering your blood sugar or going from a high A1C or fasting blood sugar to normal is not an indication of a reversal of this condition. It's heartbreaking, I understand. But you can bring your blood sugars back down, but all that gook is still in the machinery, in the liver, in the pancreas. It's still throwing off all the other hormones. So there's a lot of work that has to be done, a lot of healing, but it can be done. When it does, you'll get back your metabolic health. Here's a question for everybody. Get your fingers ready. Get your fingers ready. What percentage of American adults are in the category of metabolically healthy? Big number studies. What percentage of American adults are considered metabolically healthy? Let me see what you think. You live out there, maybe not as much as normal. You go out there and you see people, you know yourself, you know friends and family. What percentage of American adults are metabolically healthy? Deed says 15%. Jerry says 70%. It's very generous. Jonna says 18%. Colleen says 10%. Catherine says 35, 30, 40, 10, 10, 10. Okay. You guys are getting it. It's just under 12%. It's like 11.6. 11.6% of American adults are classified as metabolically healthy. I don't know what that brings up for you, but that brings up a lot of thought for me. Less than 12% of the adults out there are metabolically healthy. That means that 88% plus of people out there listening, watching, reading, or not are dealing with this issue. This issue. They might be further into the spectrum and have the clear problems of diabetes and symptoms and insulin resistance, weight gain, and stuff like that, or they might not. This means a lot of people at normal weight, a lot of people in a fit category of physical fitness are still dealing with this problem. Is that common? Is that all over the place? It's everywhere. Yeah, just under 12%. So if you're out there listening, or you know someone in your family who might be, you got to assume they are. They have metabolic syndrome, prediabetes, insulin resistance is all that same category, and they're going down that path. And there's only one path to go down if you don't do anything. Just like there's only one path to go down if you go the medical route. They have one path. We know where it goes. It is bad. Can I post this? Not right now. I'm just talking about it, Colleen. I'll put it up another time. But that's the numbers we're dealing with. 88% of Americans are considered metabolically unhealthy. Some worse than others. So this has to change. The CDC and the NIH put out a number of years ago, they said that 1 in 3 kids born after the year 2000 are expected, not predicted, expected to develop type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 kids. I got 3 kids. Wonder which one is going to be. Going to be mine? Going to be yours? Right now, 1 in 2 adults, over 52%, have prediabetes or type 2. So that's 1 in 2. Is that you or your spouse, you or your partner? Which one of your kids? Those are real numbers. When they get big numbers and we think about it that way, we kind of disassociate. But this is everyone on here, everyone that you know has contact with this multiple places in their family and their circles. Why do doctors not test fasting insulin to catch it earlier? It's a good question. It's a bigger question. Why don't doctors do some tests at all? If I was in practice and I was seeing someone, why would I not do a test that I could? There's reasons for that. You know what they are? Because anything I test, I'm responsible for, whether I know how to interpret it or not. If I get a blood work done and something's on there and I miss it, I'm still responsible. So a lot of times doctors won't take tests they're unfamiliar with because they don't want the liability. That's the reality. That's why they take their blood test and they send it to a third party to get it evaluated and report, and they pay for that to get it back because that removes some of the liability. If you get x-rays, most people who take x-rays, PTs, chiropractors, otherwise, they send it to a specialist who then gives them the clear. Because they see what they say. If they don't, just in case, they get a backup. It has to do with liability. So if they're unfamiliar with a test, they don't know how to interpret it. If it won't change what they do because they don't know how to do it, they won't do the test. Big pharma. Well, there's some of that too. We also mentioned last time we're going to talk about some practical ways to know if insulin resistance is going on in your body. You can assume it. I assume it. No matter where I'm at in my health regime, in my insulin-friendly living, I assume it. Just how bad is it at? The first one you can do is measure your waistline. Remember those numbers? 35 inches and for women, 40 inches for men, or bigger is a positive metabolic marker for metabolic syndrome. Okay, that's the easiest one. It's better than waist to hip. It's better than waist to height. It is by itself an independent marker. Obviously, blood sugar. You test your fasting blood sugar. If it's over 87, your risks start to build right there. So you want to be 86 or under fasting. Okay, 100 to 125 is considered pre-diabetic. Over 125 is type 2. Obviously, you have to get more tests, go somewhere to get it validated and to get a diagnosis, but you'll know. All right. If you've gained weight fast recently, that's a pretty good sign. When you gain weight fast and you really don't have a reason why you did, because we usually know why we gained weight. If we don't and something's off, something's changed, that's a good sign. If you've gone up and down in weight in your adult life several times and had to do dieting several times, there's going to be insulin resistance there. Weight loss resistance is a part of insulin resistance. So you can say that. If you take your fasting blood sugar, you know that. If you can also take, like they're mentioning in the chat, you can take your fasting insulin. Fasting insulin, the medical range is up to, I think it's 25, depending on the lab. That's super high. Whatever your number is, it can go up 7 times that when you eat. So if you're at 20, that can go up to 140. I'd much rather be at 5. That might go up to 35. See that big difference? We want ours under 5. As low as possible. There is no bottom number. Okay. You guys talking about blood tests? Yeah, I like non-industry based tests for blood tests. Prick your finger type of thing. For ketones, for blood sugar, I like Keto Mojo because they're not associated with a treatment. They're not associated with a drug company. A drug company who wants to sell me the medications for the problem is going to tell me if I have the problem. I get a little bit, that's just a skeptic in me. You follow me? The skeptic in me. So I like to go to third party. Anyone who's third party, I would start there. Good point to bring up in there. What else? If your triglycerides, if you get a normal blood test and you get your cholesterol and triglycerides, if it's over 100, you're going into insulin resistance. If it's over 150, for sure, because insulin is a signal to form triglycerides in your blood. Triglyceride is 3 fatty acids, 1 glycerol, sugar, together. Insulin is what makes that possible. If insulin's dominant all the time, there's going to be a lot of them. And that's a very strong correlate with insulin resistance. So is low HDL. Because insulin is up. When insulin's up, insulin is a sympathetic stimulator. So it keeps us in our stress mode. Everyone worries about cortisol, but insulin has ability to keep us a little bit there too. That's what also promotes the chronic inflammation that comes with blood sugar problems. Blood sugar alone, if it's high for a long time, can cause inflammation through oxidative stress. But the insulin presence all the time is stimulating the sympathetic nervous system, your stress response, just enough to keep that inflammation going. Okay? How do I get a fasting insulin test? You have no doctor. You're gonna have to find that out in your state. You just go online. You'll figure it out. Sometimes I don't think they do it to send it to your house. A lot of tests now they can send to your house. I don't think they do that one. I haven't seen it, but go online and find out. Every state's different. All right. Jill loves her Keto Mojo. So now here comes the question. Here's the $1 million question. Okay, you just told us the 4 things that have to change if you really want to reverse this condition. How do I do it? Right? Anybody want to know how to do it? Normally I get a heckler saying, tell me how right now. Anyone want to know how to do it? Terry's driving. All right, don't get in an accident, Terry. Good. The way you do it is through lifestyle modifications. That is actually the only documented, well-established way to reverse it. Reversals are documented all over the place. There's large studies on it. They've been doing it for a long time. You can reverse diabetes. You can reverse insulin resistance. It's totally accepted. So when people say, oh no, that's impossible, I say, where have you been? This is absolutely possible. Not only have we done it hundreds of times, but it's documented. It's accepted as part of the standard of care, certain diets. You know what just got accepted a few years ago as a part of the standard of care? Low carb, which is very insulin friendly. Not the same, but very insulin friendly. They're catching on, so don't be the last one to understand this. And the way we do it, so okay, you want the only fat in our body we can target to come out. Like if I want abs, if I do 100 million sit-ups, it doesn't mean I'm going to get abs. The body will take fat off the body fat wherever it needs to. I can't make it come from my butt or come from my belly or what if I wanted to. But you can with visceral and organ fat. The organ fat, like liver fat and pancreas fat, responds quickly and very well to intensity training. Intense exercise, like high intensity interval training, like variable output exercise that I teach. That kind of intense training pulls that fat out really quick because that fat is there and it almost gets used like a reserve of sugar. Body fat has to go through a whole process to come off our body. when it's in the liver and it's in the viscera, it can come out more directly because it goes through the liver anyway. And when you hit that real high intensity, it pulls it right from there. You can see a shift in that on an imaging in a week. Doesn't mean it's gone and fixed, but you can see it start to change in a week. And it might only be grams. You won't see it on the scale. That's why you can reverse type 2 diabetes without losing any weight on the scale. That might be frustrating, but it's independent of weight loss. Okay? You have to get that insulin exposure out of there, push the intensity, and that'll start to come out. It'll start to come out fast. Your body's waiting for you to do this. Lifestyle. Question. Very low LDL. Overall cholesterol. Okay. I don't try to lower cholesterol for myself at all. I don't see a reason to. It's not associated with heart disease. We've proven that. It's not associated with a whole lot. Okay. The group of people who died the least in the biggest studies, their cholesterol was like 100 or 283. They had the least mortality rate. Go figure that one out. So I'm not worried about cholesterol at all. You know, even people who have a genetic disorder. I worked with a gentleman. His whole family, they had cholesterol in the 900s. None of them died of heart attacks. Not one. They were all scared because people scared them, but then none of them had that problem. They weren't dropping over from heart issues. So just, you know, do what you need to do. But I wouldn't freak out about numbers until you have a reason to freak out. Okay, cholesterol goes up when your body's making hormones, for example, making more testosterone, estrogen, thyroid, any kind of hormone. It comes from cholesterol. That's the pool. So sometimes when you're in an anabolic state, you'll have more cholesterol. If you test it right then, you might think you're high, but you're not. Okay, we see. I'm telling you how, Jonna. I do, and I recommend to people when they're ready, assuming you got to figure that one out, to do high intensity training. Get up to a point where you can do 4 hard intensity trainings a week. You can still plan out. I'm an everyday or not at all, so I still go into my workout area and I do something else when I'm not doing intensity training. Intensity trainings aren't longer than 20 minutes. You can't stay at a high level. If you can go easily for 20 minutes, you think you're at high intensity, you're not. It means you're not pushing hard enough. You just can't. It's hard, it's fast. We teach the 12-minute workout. That's the model that we teach. All right. Sorry, I missed some questions here. Lifestyle is everything. So intensity training, and that's also what will expand your glycogen stores. But before your glycogen stores in your muscles that we need to be metabolically healthy and get over insulin resistance and type 2, before it will expand, you have to develop more ATP producing cells in there. You have to get more mitochondria. Mitochondria are the engines. Think of it that way. The engines in your muscle, how much they can rev, how powerful they are. You want more engines. And as you get more engines, you're going to need more gas, and that's why you get more glycogen. You get more storage. Glycogen is the gas tank. Mitochondria are the engine. Together they create the power, strength, and stamina that we have in our body. And they're very, very metabolic. So to get to that point metabolically, when you're overcoming insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, you have to first increase those engines, and that comes from hard exercise. Not long walks, which have a great benefit, but just not for this. Heavy weightlifting in a short period of time can do it. High intensity intervals can do it. Variable output exercise can do it. Sprinting can do it. It's got to be hard. You got to push yourself. Then you'll develop more engines in your muscle cells. When those engines start to develop, you'll get bigger gas tanks. That's the glycogen. And then you're moving, and now you hit one of the 4 points. It could take a while. Intensity is hard to learn. Okay? Fasting has been shown to help with all of this. The metabolic state you have to be in to make these changes is a low insulin state. It's a repair state. You have to be in the repair state. You can't be in the fed state. The reason you had the problem is because you've been in the fed state for a long time. We've been in the fed state for years. The average American, over 50% of them, eats over 15 hours during the day. They eat from the morning, from the beginning they get up to the moment they go to bed. They're on and off eating. There's no big breaks. You know what I think is interesting? You know what the average amount of time someone spends physically eating in that 15 hours that they're eating? I want to hear that. How long do you think in a day the average American spends actually eating, like chewing on real food, not like sitting down to dinner, saying grace and praying and getting the extra time? No, I'm talking about literally in your mouth, stuff in your mouth, eating during a day. How much time during a day? We know they eat mostly over 15 hours overall, on and off, but what is that time? Do you have intense training for obese people? Intense training for anybody. Intensity is relative. Catherine says 1 hour of total eating. Christy no says 15 minutes. Wow, you're a quick eater. Celia says 10 minutes. No, if they're eating over 15 hours, they got to be eating. So let's think it through. Hours and 15 minutes. Yeah. What? Okay. 3 hours. Okay, now we're starting to think things. Now we get. Good. 15 times 3 times a day is 45 minutes. All right. It's 1.1 hours a day. That's the average. So what's that? 66 minutes? Of the 15 hours that they're on and off, on and off, on and off, it's only actually 1.1 hours of eating in your mouth. I find that very interesting. Nope. Sorry, Jonna, you overshot. 1.1. 1.1. It's not that much time. Yet we break it up so much that we can spread that out over 15 hours. And if you think about it, we're only eating 1.1 hours worth of time, yet our body and our insulin and our pancreas is taking care of our energy for 24 of those. It's pretty. That's more pretty efficient. That you can recharge your whole body with 1.1 hours of eating. Dr. Eads says you can't charge a Tesla in 1 hour, but you can recharge your body. That's pretty amazing. All right, you with me? You guys see how those 4 points work? And next week, or I'm going to make a video of this, of my presentation that I wasn't able to get through the live today. And so I'll go over these topics again, a little bit slower. I'll put the studies in if you want. I'll put the original graphs in. I make my own, but I'll put the graphs in. You can look at them. They're big. There's big data points, right? And you can see it is possible to reverse insulin resistance. I mean, reverse it, not just change a blood sugar number, not just lose some weight. Change the metabolic profile, change your metabolic health. You can reverse type 2 diabetes. Can all type 2 diabetics reverse it? No, they can't. Do we know who is who? No, but we do know the longer you've had hyperinsulinemia, that high insulin and hyperglycemia from it, the harder it is. Is it impossible? No. But it's more of a reason to do these tests. Measure your waist. Prick your finger. Test it. Look at your triglycerides. Is it over 100? Is your LDL low? If your vitamin D is low, you got insulin resistance. That's it right there. Inverse relationship correlation. Low vitamin D. Okay. People worry about hair loss and fasting. I've heard that before. Just so you know, if your vitamin D drops, women in particular, not so strong with men, but women's vitamin D drops below 50, high correlation with hair loss. It might not have anything to do with the fasting. It just might bring it out because it's a stress. All right. Got any other questions in there? What are some other tests you can do? There's all sorts of tests you can do. I like to stick to the basics because they'll give you an idea. Right? If you think you have insulin resistance and you do all those tests and nothing comes up, maybe you don't have it. Right? Remember, it's not about weight. It's independent of weight. There are morbidly obese people with healthy metabolic profiles. Not too many, but there absolutely are. Just like there are very thin, fit, even lean, and athletic people with very sick metabolic profiles. Can't let that be your judge. All right, how we doing out there? I'm going to slow down. I've been talking. Thank you, Marlene. Yeah, 50. 50 is what we use here in the States. I don't know the conversion. How we doing out there? You guys still with me? Did the video calm down for you, Jan? My lights in here are hot. Any other questions come up? How'd that go for you? Did it make sense? Good info? Did it flow? Did you put it together? Hey, Catherine. Oh yeah, don't forget, someone's going to get a shirt. Right? That's what it says on the back. That's what it says on the front. So you wear this while you're fasting. Wear it while you're fasting. And they bother you. Say, hey, do you even fast? You can start by shutting your mouth. That's what I like, you know, because everyone has an opinion suddenly when they find out you're fasting, don't they? Everybody has an opinion. Jonna, search. Yeah, Jonna, you got to search online. People can't tell you that kind of stuff. I know, Jan, I said vitamin D under 50 is correlated with female hair loss. Strongly. I didn't tell you what you should have. Remember that, man. We talked about that. You like that shirt? Well, someone who's on the live today is going to get that. I have someone who's going to review it, not me. And it's going to be a random person. We're going to send it out to you. I'll contact you and send it out to you. I know, Jill. I know you like that shirt. It's a good one. It's a good one. Any other questions about that? It's a complex topic. It's hard to talk about. It's easy to get off on tangents on my side. So if I do, and I need to clear something up, just let me know. .125 vitamin D is equivalent to 2.5. Okay, I missed something in that discussion. I'm not going to comment. But the biggest takeaway is even when you've been diabetic, you've had insulin resistance, you've been fighting with this for a long time, you've been doing other things, there's still an opportunity to repair it. You can still get through this. Your body will respond when we do the right things, in the right way, at the right time, and it might take some configuring, but you can still get in front of this. Because if you don't, when someone who's diagnosed with type 2 diabetes around 40, they lose 12 to 14 years off the average lifespan. That's a long time. That's a long time. That's watching someone graduate from college or high school. That's watching a wedding. That's going on a family vacation. That's a kid being born. The stats are clear. Okay, women that get type 2 diabetes are now at risk. Their number one risk is a heart attack. It's 10 times more risky. There's 10 times more risk for them for a heart attack than it is breast cancer. That's significant. We have a whole breast cancer month, but we should have women and diabetes month. Right? T-shirt in black and gold lettering would be just. I'm not taking personalized orders here, Carrie. You get the shirt off. Come on. These are my colors. I'm not gonna go. What is that? Saints colors? Yeah, and it can get. And listen, here's the other thing. You know, people out there who think they've made some great progress. They're changed their health, but if they don't check for these things, they might still be metabolically sick and not know it. That's what breaks my heart, because the medical side tells them that your blood sugar is in normal range, whether it's medications or not. You're not diabetic. You're good. They're not. You still have this problem, and you still get those odds. Your life is still at risk of being cut short, except now it's going to be cut short with normal blood sugar levels because you don't know. You don't know. I got doctors out there every day on my page that we're talking, and they go, yeah, I help someone reverse diabetes. And I go, how do you know? Well, the blood sugar went normal. I mean, besides that doesn't count. You can't tell. You can tell when you're off, but you can't tell when this metabolic problem is fixed by blood sugar alone. Can't rely on that. And they don't know. It's hard to test. You got to do some extra stuff. I get it. But you have to do it to know. And when those things clear, then you have reversed your condition. You can say to someone, Mrs. Smith, I know you've been fighting this for a long time. I know this has been hurting you and your family, and there's a lot of stress. But guess what? You're off that road right now. You have an opportunity to start anew. And we can help you. That's a conversation I want to have, and I want to be able to say it with confidence. Not that, oh, your blood sugars are normal and have a party and they're still sick. I'm just not okay with that. So do the extra test, whether it's for you or someone else. Do the extra. Go the extra mile. Find out. Because if you're on the clear, great. Keep it up. Don't go back. Because you can always go back. Just because if I get shot, I go to the hospital and I recover from a bullet wound, it doesn't mean I'm now bulletproof, right? It can happen again. We do the same things, and we're probably more susceptible to it. So don't do that. But if you've had a great success, you've seen this change, just double check, because you don't want to be surprised by this. You don't want to be surprised. I don't want you to be surprised. How fast can insulin resistance form in a person? Well, you can see dramatic changes. We have a lot of info from the rats. You like rat studies? I'll give you some of those. Within 14 weeks of high sugar exposure, their insulin response goes down, their function goes down to 60% in like weeks, right? Weeks. So it can go fast. Here, you know what the number one single cause if you're going to blame diabetes for one thing, it's fructose. If you're doing this process, or you've done this process and you're doing well, you have to stay away from fructose. Like zero tolerance. Fructose causes diabetes. It's the #1 cause of diabetes epidemic around the world. It is fructose. It's established. There's a causative value to it. There's been studies. It's known. I don't know why people don't. They always say no, it's not. That's not it. I'm like, we have the data. It's shown. Fructose causes diabetes because the average American is drinking or eating or consuming 70 pounds of it a year. Just fructose, not all sugar, just fructose. Fructose is not a nutrient, just like fiber is not a nutrient, right? They're not essential. They have, you can eat them. They come with other nutrients, but it's not a nutrient. There's no requirement for fructose. There's no process in the body that needs it, and it causes problems. Eat it, and up to 90% of it will always go to liver fat or body fat. It will not go to energy. Only the liver can process it. Fructose causes diabetes. Put that in your head. Fructose causes diabetes. High fructose corn syrup, cane syrup, all the names of it, right? All the names of the sugar. It's in everything, and it'll cause diabetes. Insulin resistance first. All right. Well, we got some questions here. How often do you suggest testing? I'm not going to go into that right here, John. I'm sorry. Aim for 12 minutes of HIIT. No, I didn't say 4 to 6 days a week. I said 4 times. If you really go into a HIIT and you can really press yourself to your max, you don't have to do that every day. You need recovery. You need recovery. Every day we need to sleep. We need recovery. If you don't recover fully, then you're holding yourself back and you can go backwards. Overtraining can happen even on this level. You don't have to be an athlete to be overtraining. So you need the recovery. You bet. Yeah, good question, Jan. You got a good one in there. I'll give it to you. Is there a benefit to doing more than one HIIT training a day? If they're short, 2 is better than 1 long one. 2 12 minutes separated is better metabolically for you than an hour and a half of traditional gym work stuff. Metabolically. So yeah, so I would split them up. I've done that before because 12 minutes is fast, and you'll get good at it. And then once you're good at it and it's easy, you don't have to add more time. You add more intensity. You find something that's harder to do in your 12 minutes. How do I push more in my 12 minutes? When you absolutely max that out, then you add another round, and now you got 16 minutes. Okay, that's how you build on that. If a person has a propensity for SVT, I don't know what is that. Is there a test to prove you are healed fatty liver? All the things I'm talking about, all those parameters will go into a healthy range. You can get imaging. You can go get a liver MRI. You can go get a scan, any kind. You can get an ultrasound. Go ahead. You can go get those. You'll see it. So high fruit in the diet. I'm not talking about another group out there, Jan. Don't set me up. Fructose is corn syrup. What other names? High fructose corn syrup, crystalline, fructose crystals, Florida crystals is just crystallized fructose. All sorts of them. You can look at. I think I have a document I can put out there on that. There's like 64 names on the market right now for sugar. Anything that says sugar is half fructose. So if it just says sugar, cane sugar, anything, it's half fructose. That's what makes up sucralose. Sucralose is half, and then the table sugar is half sucralose, half fructose. So if it says sugar, it's half fructose automatically, even if it doesn't say fructose. Who the heck thinks fruit is good for diabetes? Yeah, I don't want to get into that. There's a lot of people. You know why? Because fructose doesn't raise blood sugar. So they say you can have it. If they'll even. I've seen it in the literature. I go to the American Diabetes Association and the American Certified Diabetes Educators with thousands of people, and that's what they put out. It's marked on your bag. Fructose is okay. It doesn't raise blood sugar because they're focused on blood sugar, but it's going to make you worse. It might have caused what you're sitting there for. That's too complicated of a question, Eugene. Sorry, I can't get into that. Terry, no, I don't drink. I can't. I'm not. Thanks for the offer. No, what are you asking about alcohol? Full sentences, please. I can't get. I don't want to guess. Fruit in general, we obviously didn't evolve eating it. I don't think it's going to be your tipping point or be a big deal if you have it once in a while if you're metabolically healthy. But if you're already metabolically challenged, it's still fructose. It's been bred. It's not natural anymore. It's a bred hybrid of superfruit. So it's got more fructose to be sweeter and bigger than ever in history. So you just have to know that it's in there. If you're sensitive or you're trying to get over this and you're trying to get rid of fatty liver, I would not touch fructose for anything. Because part of it will go right there. All right, it's about that time. I'm going to wrap up soon. If you have a last minute burning question specific, go ahead and send it over. I'll do what I can. If not, I'll follow up with a recording one of these days in the group, Insulin Friendly Fasting Secrets, so that I can cover what I wanted to with the slides I did not go through. So berries are not good. Listen, I'm not saying anything is good or bad. You won't hear that from me. Stop asking. That's not my judgment call. I'll tell you, fructose, I know fructose is toxic. Fructose is what it does. Does fruit have fructose? Yes. Am I saying fruit's bad? No, I haven't said that. I won't say that. So while one is fasting, for a day or 3, can one can keep doing Yeah, we teach our model, our rhythm, our cadence in my program, functional fitness, functional fasting. They both go together. You shouldn't have to stop anything while you do an extended fast. 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. I've done 30 days. I've done several 12 days, and you don't have to interrupt it. 30 days maybe. That's a whole different subject. But 7 days, you shouldn't. There's no interruption. Doesn't have to be. People train. I've had athletes do it. Competitive athletes. I've had power lifters go through it. Don't lose a single beat. Can a person have low fasting insulin and insulin resistance? Not without a pathology. That'd have to be that's an exceptional weird case, but no, that's not a normal state. Do you do televisits? Oh, well, my whole practice is virtual, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I did. My whole practice is virtual. We do it Facebook Messenger calls, we FaceTime, Zoom, whatever we need to do, and then I have an online curriculum. That's how I deliver my program content. And the content I give to these rooms and to these things, this is just information. This is general for anybody. Message me if you're in. Go ahead and message me. Okay, everybody, I'm about to wrap it up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with a little bit of confusion with the slides not showing up and the switch of the rooms. You probably didn't even notice. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. And I'll look forward to the next one. Keep an eye out for the announcements. Take care.